Hello! I thought we might try something a little different. I've been wanting to play one of these. I love these kinds of games. I have not played a Hunt-A-Killer. I know that's probably going to be very shocking to some of you, that somehow I have not played this brand of the game before, or this kind of, because I feel like it's very up my alley. And you can play them on your own, but I thought it might be kind of cool to, I don't know if it's something we can do together. I'm going to try and my best so that I inverted everything so you can read it as if it was in front of you as well. Obviously, I'm going to read the really tiny text. You don't have to worry about that. This bad guy, we don't have to worry about because hopefully we're not going to need that. We're going to put him off to the side. There, you can still see him. You know that I'm not taking any sneak peeks. Pulled this guy out because it just looked pretty. This is actually 2. If we need... Thank you for the new subscription, Christian. I'm also happy it's working. That is a precarious state right now. So we'll see. It's another thought I had of like, do I want to risk trying to do regular streaming, or shall I try something kind of lower key? Not give it too much strain. Maybe it'll be okay. We will see. We will see. But also, a good thing about this is it's a lot easier to chat with everybody. So, hopefully you can't hear my chomps too much. I always try to do this later so it doesn't interfere with, like, eating. And day job stuff. And inevitably, I never have time to eat until it's time to stream. I almost grabbed my mouse, but this is not a computer game, so. How do you like the cafe vibes that we've made? I'm trying to make this cozy. We're playing Nancy Drew Mystery at Magnolia Gardens. It should, in theory, take us 60 to 90 minutes to do it. I will not be timing it. I never time these because I do not play mystery games to be in a time trial. Plus, I don't know why. It always ups my anxiety more. Not a fan. Not a fan. I caress my microphone with a chopstick. Time is an illusion. Actually, yeah. Should we start with the manual? Because that was technically on top. I feel like the game manual should be read first. Welcome to Mystery at Magnolia Gardens. Contained within this box is everything you'll need to help Nancy Drew solve the mysterious poisoning of Florence North. Spoilers. You will assume the role of Nancy Drew's trusted friend. Do I get to be George? George was totes in love with Nancy. I shipped it so hard. Along the way, you'll investigate 5 suspects, put together clues, and solve puzzles in order to unravel the mystery and bring the culprit to justice. Here are the items within your box. A letter from Nancy Drew, Nancy's case notes, persons of interest profiles, map of the botanical garden, tea strainer in bag, exhibit brochure, drawing of bouquet, postcard, fax, notebook page, checklist, internship evaluation form, seed packets, 3 of them, empty, sticky note, locked tin contains 2 documents cut into 52 pieces, and 1 item, solution envelope. Spoilers, do not open until you're ready to know the answer. Okay, contains 2 documents. Hi, India! Hi, Pipsquick. Hey, Jody. Cad, you came in when I did not see you. Welcome. The objective of Mystery at Magnolia Gardens is to figure out which botanical garden employee poisoned Florence North. You can work alone or as part of a team. To solve the case, you will need to discover which suspect had the means, motive, and opportunity to poison Florence. If a suspect did not have either the means, motive, or opportunity to commit the crime, they can be eliminated. Only one of the 5 potential suspects will have all 3, and discovering which suspect has all 3 will allow you to identify them as the culprit. To accomplish this, you'll need to carefully read each of the documents in the box, examine the items included as evidence, and crack the codes hiding key information. Begin by checking to make sure your box contains all of the items on the inventory list. Note that 2 documents and 1 item are sealed inside the locked tin. Before you begin your investigation, you may want to find some paper and pencil or pen in order to take notes as you go. Throughout the investigation, you'll be going over the documents and interacting with the items of this case. We recommend organizing these documents in a manner that feels most comfortable to you. We're doing it live! We've verified we got everything. Read the letter from Nancy Drew in this document. Nancy will outline the case and give you tips on how to conduct your investigation. From there, the rest of the documents and items are yours to explore. Read through everything, take notes, and examine the items. The truth is yours to uncover. To solve the mystery, you will need to figure out which suspect has the means, motive, and opportunity to poison Florence North. Means. How was Florence poisoned? You will need to figure out what plant was used to poison Florence and which suspect had access to that plant. excited. Motive. Why was Florence poisoned? Look at Florence's relationship with each suspect and try to figure out whether or not any suspects harbored secret resentments against her. If you find that a character had no reason to harm Florence, you can eliminate them as a suspect. Opportunity. When was Florence poisoned? Could the culprit have been at the scene of the crime at the time of the poisoning? Try to create a timeline of each suspect's movements on the night of the event. Remember, suspects might leave out pieces of information that would make them look suspicious, so make sure to analyze every document very carefully to see if they reveal anything about a suspect's true whereabouts. When you think you have identified the culprit, you can check your answer by opening the solution envelope. But be warned, once you do, there is no going back. Yee! Make sure you have opened the locked tin and know what was used to poison Florence, why the culprit poisoned Florence, and whether your prime suspect could have been at the crime scene at the time of the poisoning before you open the solution envelope. Alright, you can also visit our website to check the answers to each individual puzzle. We shan't be doing that. Alright, team. Let's do this. Hello. There's trouble at Magnolia Gardens, a botanical garden in my hometown of River Heights. I need your help to get to the bottom of it before anyone gets hurt any worse than they already have, including myself. Let me explain. Yesterday, I went to visit Magnolia Gardens' new exhibit on poisonous plants, Fatal Flora. I'd been invited on a personal tour by the garden's director, a family friend named Florence North. Oh, Nancy, I'm so sorry. When I arrived, Florence invited me into her office for a cup of tea. I knew something was wrong immediately. Her pupils were dilated and she kept scratching at her arms. It almost sounds like an allergic reaction. I asked Florence how she was doing. She told me she'd started to feel ill soon after the Fatal Flora exhibit opened 3 days earlier. When I pressed her for more information, she said that she'd been wondering if she was spending too much time breathing in pollen and spores from toxic plants in the new exhibit. By the time she was done explaining, we'd finished our tea. I offered to clean up the cups. That's when I saw a mysterious pink stain on the bag that held her tea strainer. The pieces fell into place for me in an instant. I asked Florence if she drank this particular tea regularly. She replied she had a cup every morning. Then I asked how many people had access to her office. She responded that she usually kept the door locked when she wasn't inside, but she'd forgotten to close up on the night the Fatal Flora exhibit opened. Okay, so 3 days ago. Florence gasped when she realized what I was getting at. Someone must have poisoned her loose-leaf tea. I knew that with the culprit still on the loose, there wasn't much time to waste. I had to start talking to suspects and tracking down clues, and that's exactly what I did. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to solve the case before the poison started to take effect that evening. It affected me more strongly than it did Florence, likely because Florence takes her tea with a very heavy pour of milk, and I take mine plain. I'll likely be discharged from the hospital in a few days, but that's not soon enough, not with the poisoner still at large. Since I'm still too sick to close the case myself, I need your help. I've enclosed the evidence. Okay, so she's not actually a murderer. Or she's not actually murdered. Since I'm still too sick to close the case myself, I need your help. I've enclosed the evidence I gathered from the gardens and the notes I took. During my preliminary investigation, I was able to narrow it down to 5 suspects. The rest is in your hands. You need to figure out which of our 5 suspects poisoned Florence's loose-leaf tea on the night of the Fatal Flora exhibit. The night the Fatal Flora exhibit opened. As you may already know, you'll need to figure out which suspect had the means, motive, and opportunity to poison her. If you find evidence that any suspect doesn't have either means, motive, or opportunity, you can safely consider them innocent. If I were you, I'd start by looking through my case notes and suspect profiles. They should give you some context as you begin to dig into the rest of the evidence. After that, you should look through the rest of the evidence to see what you find. It's up to you. Nancy Drew. Okay, so it definitely blocks iron absorption because of the casein. Casein sometimes binds to iron molecules in the body, which slows down iron absorption and can lead to iron deficiency anemia. So because milk can interfere with how iron is absorbed in the stomach, and the calcium found in dairy products can prevent the body from absorbing tetracycline, and antibiotics and thyroid medication. Okay, so basically anything that depends on your iron absorption can get fucked up by drinking milk. So that's interesting. Is that cheating? It wasn't cheating, right? I was just looking up. Yeah. Not like I looked up an answer. Indeed, Florence is left-handed. Florence reports the following symptoms: throbbing headaches, dilated pupils, uncomfortable rashes up her arms. That's weird. Okay. The rashes on the arms seem different. Unless she's the one picking the plants, because why would it be just on her arms? If she was ingesting it, she'd have rashes everywhere. Like, it appearing just on her arms, like a topical issue. She does not have 6 fingers on her right hand. Unless she's hiding 2. Instead of just 1. She lifts up her hand and you realize she has 2 thumbs. Or maybe she just has 4. Irregular heartbeat. Vivid nightmares of being chased through Magnolia Gardens hedge maze by an unknown assailant. My current theory is that Florence is actually poisoning herself just a little bit and trying to frame someone else. Because she's the one who asked Nancy there for a personal tour. She probably knew Nancy was going to notice. Even though it's been 3 days, she still hasn't been poisoned enough for it to actually kill her. If she's been poisoning herself the past 3 days, then yeah, I think she'd risk poisoning Nancy too. Potentially. Especially if she knew that it was light enough it wouldn't actually kill her. I would also say that if it isn't Florence, whoever is poisoning Florence has never had tea with her. Because they don't understand what milk does with it, or they don't know she puts that much milk in her tea. Those are my current thoughts. I know I'm making like wild accusations. I don't think that the arm thing is related to the poison, and if it is, it's because of like the picking or actually gathering of it. I don't think it's from ingestion. Because why doesn't Nancy seem to have the scratchy arms? That's odd to me. Florence keeps her office locked whenever she's not inside. She's the only person with a key. I first noticed a strange pink stain on the cloth container that holds her tea strainer. Upon further investigation, I found similar finger-shaped stains all around the area where Florence keeps her tea and on the doorknob to her office. Okay, it's just a tea strainer. Wouldn't it? Like, I could actually make tea in this. And be poisoned myself. No. I love that they actually put a tea strainer in there. I thought butterfly pea flower only gets that way when it's mixed with citrus. Otherwise, it's more of a purple. Oh, I see. You're responding to that. I was like, you wouldn't put, I thought you were saying that's what this was. And I was like, no, because she put milk in it. You absolutely don't want to put lemon and milk in your tea. That milk will curdle. I should have read all of what was talking. Florence says she keeps her office door locked, but that she accidentally left it unlocked on the night the fatal flora exhibit opened. That was the only opportunity the culprit had to poison the tea. Here's what I know about that night. The fatal flora exhibit opened 3 days before my visit on Tuesday night. The opening reception event for the exhibit began at 6:45 p.m. From 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., Dr. Latour was scheduled to deliver a lecture on the chemical properties of some of the poisons found in the exhibit flowers. It's not actually Latour as in the tour. I realized it's not be capitalized. Latour. Latour, the tour. Dr. the tour. And then post-lecture reception, 8 to 8:30. Interviewed possible suspects, took notes, took the strainer and strainer bag from Florence's office as evidence. When Florence came back from the lecture, she found a bouquet and a postcard right outside her office door. Made a sketch of the bouquet and took the postcard as evidence. Bleeding heart. I think bleeding hearts are... No, they're the funeral flowers to Tibet. Are they also poisonous? I think they're poisonous. I can't tell, but that might be aconite? No, that's probably lilacs. Okay. I think this, I think the itchy arms are possibly from this. I'm not sure yet, but... Greetings from Magnolia Gardens. I'd have to be able to identify all of them. I just know these because we had these in my home growing up, weirdly enough. I thought they were the most odd... Because it literally does look like a heart bleeding, and I thought it was like a fascinating... But yeah, all flowers do pretty much have meaning. I know you made yourself clear, but please reconsider. You connect the dots, you'll see where I stayed. Interesting. That's what it says on this. Hi, baby.
Hi.
I love you.
I love you.
They all say hi. Oh, no, we don't have candy ginger. She's going to go take a ginger bath. It really helps when you have aches, pains. Honestly, bloating, headaches, cramps. It kind of works awesome. Um, sort of like bath salts, but no, we literally take either fresh ginger or you can honestly just use ginger herbal tea. Make sure that that's all that's in it. Like literally all that's in this guy is ginger. Make sure you check the back and be like, there's not, something in there that shouldn't be. But this is just ginger.
So if they
Yes.
put it in pantyhose.
Yes, mince it, put it in pantyhose. Well, yes, Imp, I said herbal, so non-caffeinated. But thank you for rubbing that in my face. Yeah, don't do that. But you can actually, here's the funny thing. If you use, say, 2 green tea bags, it makes a lovely bath. I wouldn't recommend using 100. That, oh boy. Oh boy. All right. I asked Florence if any of her employees had gotten into trouble lately. She gave me a report she'd written about Parker. I found a sticky note with some strange message on it in the hallway outside Florence's office. It looks like someone dropped it. Took an exhibit brochure from Fatal Flora to get a better understanding of the plants in the exhibit. Took a map of Magnolia Gardens to guide me around, and kept an eye out for the items that Heather said were stolen from the gift shop. Ooh! Stolen from the gift shop. Found the packets and the tin in a trash can outside the main building. The tin is locked, but there's definitely something inside. All right. I thought this was going to actually keep it more organized, but I think that's not the case. Interesting. June, July height, February, March, days to germination, June to July planting depth. Odd. Very, very curious. Yuri decides to change everything. Wait, Jody, did you not know about that? Once upon a time, Kiri did a Q&A using a green tea bath and forgot. forgot. That you can absorb caffeine through your skin. Egg on my face. Little bit egg on my face. Alright, we're gonna actually change this to a little bit of a smaller font. This giant snow pea. Ah, look! I don't know why I'm... See that? I got one of these. Okay, they're planting times. I don't know what it means, but I think this is about carrots. No, wait. This is June, July height. This is February, March. Days to germination. Which must mean June, July. Planting depth. Okay. And there's more here. So, June, July height. 6. Days to germination. 8. Planting depth. 1. my gosh, you guys! I got it. Sorry, that should have been more over here. Okay. Okay, I know it's not like a super hard one. I think it's like medium, but I'm really proud of myself for that. Okay, so this is related to this. And potentially, we have solved that, seems like. Looks like it's got 3 roses on it. I realized I needed to finish Nancy's notes. Okay. We've opened the tin. That's really cool. I put this on top of the tin. It looks like there's a puzzle in there. Okay, before we do that. So those were stolen. They were outside with the tin in the trash can outside the main building. The tin is locked, but there's definitely something inside. Yep, there is, Nancy. This is definitely a man's ring. I know I have smaller hands. My ring finger is a 4.5, but still. That's huge. Found a notebook on the ground inside the old greenhouse, which is strange since nobody's supposed to be working there anymore. Why? I took the most recent page since that appears to have been written during the week of the poisoning. I found an interesting looking fax in Dr. Latour's office, borrowed it, saw a checklist on a communal refrigerator in the administrative building. Looks like the tensions were high between Sherwood and Tara the week the exhibit opened. Borrowed that as well. As I searched the Magnolia Gardens for clues, I noticed that some of the garden plants recently had had cuttings taken from them. I asked Florence about it, and she said that there was no reason that anyone should be taking cuttings from the plants on display. I wonder who took all these plants and what their motivations could have been. Following plants had cuttings taken: air plant, azalea, bleeding heart, chamomile, jellybean plant, lily of the valley, oleander, Venus flytrap, wolfsbane, otherwise known as aconite. That is not local. That is ambiance for the stream because I really want to create an exceptionally cozy vibe for these streams. Like I want it to kind of feel like we're just hanging out at my house and there's fire, like a fireplace, and yeah. All right. I'm going to keep this page up for viewing because that seems really important. All right. Florence, our victim. Florence has only been the director for about 6 months. When the previous director retired, she stood up against Sherwood for promotion. Florence said she was surprised to be promoted over Sherwood since he's been working at Magnolia Gardens much longer than her. She drinks a cup of tea in her office every morning at 9 a.m. She started to feel sick around 5 p.m. the day after the Fatal Flora exhibit opened. Interesting. Cup of tea at 9 a.m. but didn't feel ill until 5 p.m. Where's Nancy's letter? Okay, so that does seem to coincide with what Nancy had She wasn't able to solve the case before the poison started to take effect that evening. Okay, so it's a delayed effect. The night fatal Flora opened. Florence was in her office for most of the afternoon during administrative work. I lost my place and I can't remember where I was reading. Oh, something spilled. I don't know if you guys could hear the door close, but I was like, oh, I wonder why. Now I'm hearing the vacuum. That would be why. Okay, the night fatal Flora opened. Florence was in her office for most of the afternoon doing administrative work. She heard a loud crash come from the lab around 6:50, but didn't check on it. Then she was busy. 20 minutes later, Florence realized she'd lost track of time and that she was running late for the opening night of the event. On her way to the opening, Florence saw Parker inside the lab cleaning something up and heard Sherwood in his office. She said this about Sherwood. He was blasting classic rock like he usually does when he's rushing to meet a deadline. I wish I could say I was shocked he missed the opening of his own exhibit, but frankly that's not unusual behavior for Dr. Sanderson. Sanderson? Oh, Sherwood Sanderson. Yeah, okay. Tara was already speaking when Florence walked into the event. She saw Oliver and Heather at the lecture too. Tara finished speaking at 8 o'clock, but didn't stick around for the reception. Florence said this. I had to mingle and field questions about the lecture on her behalf, which was a little awkward since I am not a scientist. She seemed like she was in a hurry to leave. Tara. Tara Latour. Okay. It's so hard to not just start with this puzzle. Like, I really want to, but I'm like, nope, we gotta go through the other stuff. But it's tempting. Okay. Okay, so Sherwood likes to blast rock music when he's rushing to meet a deadline. Missed the opening of his own exhibit. Interesting. All right. She finished speaking. Okay. All right. So she did finish on time around 8, but did not stick around for the reception. Seemed like she was in a hurry to leave. All right. So, Dr. Tara Latour left at 8 p.m. So currently, we are still within the window. Oliver at lecture. Heather at lecture. Dr. Sherwood Sanderson missed lecture? Parker missed lecture? Possibly. Florence left the event when it ended and went back to the administrative building to retrieve her car keys from her office. When she got there, she saw Sherwood in the break room, muttering angrily under his breath and furiously scratching at his arms. Itchy arms. When Florence got to her office around 8:30, she noticed there was a bouquet and postcard on the floor outside the door. I've asked her to give me both of those as evidence. Florence realized she accidentally left her door unlocked when she left for the lecture. She made sure the door was locked for real this time and left around 8:45. Okay, around 6:50. Loud crash. 20 minutes later, so at 7:10. Around 7:10 is when Florence left. So between then and 8:30, about an hour and a quarter. Went home at... I feel like whoever left the flowers is probably not the person who did the poisoning. Because it seems like the person who left the flowers thought the door was locked. Sherwood is Parker's uncle. Parker. And he seems extremely fond of him. Here's how we talked about Parker. The kid's a genius. He'll have his pick of jobs once he graduates, but I'll bet anything he's going to end up here. I always used to take him to Magnolia Gardens when he was little. It was his favorite place in the whole world. Still is. Sherwood says he had to miss Fatal Flora's opening to complete a large amount of ultra-high priority paperwork that needed to be turned in ASAP. He stayed in his office playing music for most of the night. All right, so he missed it entirely. He finished his work a few minutes before 8 and decided he'd missed so much of the event already that there was no point in showing up for the last half hour. When he finished his work, Sherwood peeked into the lab to check on Parker. According to him, I only looked in. I never set foot on any part of Dr. Latour's turf. Let's just say it's hostile terrain for me for more than one reason. Sherwood and Parker looked busy at work when he checked in on him, so he left Parker alone. He then went to the break room to find something to eat. Sherwood heard Tara come back into the administrative building from the main building at some point after 8. During the time he was eating, he couldn't say exactly when. Around 8:20, Sherwood heard someone knocking on the door in the hallway. He looked into the hall and saw Oliver standing outside Florence's office. Oliver was holding something, but Sherwood couldn't see it because Oliver's back was to him. Oliver called Florence's name as if trying to coax her out of the room, but nobody came to the door. That's when Sherwood looked away. When I tried to ask about why Oliver might be visiting Florence so late, Sherwood said that I should ask Oliver myself. Quote from Sherwood on Oliver. The guy tries to be all stoic, but he's got a whole lot of feelings buttoned down under those big, cozy sweaters of his. Sherwood stayed in the break room until around 8:50, eating dinner and, in his words, tying up some loose ends. When he finished up, Sherwood drove Parker back to his dorm at RHU and then took himself home. All right, I think we need a timeline. Honestly, part of me can't help but think that there's a red herring with Oliver because Florence just said that someone was knocking. Okay, either Oliver wasn't at... Because Oliver was at the reception, according to Florence. But Sherwood just told us around 8:20 he was outside of her door. Why would he still be out there if she was still fielding questions during the reception, which is what it sounded like she had to do. We'll see who of these two are lying, but we've already found some inconsistency. If I was going to be really fancy, I'd color code this. See, the thing is, like, the blasting of music is one of those things where it's like, oh, he could leave his office and no one would know if the music was still blasting. They'd still think he might be in there. To drive Parker back to RHU. Okay. Parker. This guy's nephew. Parker is currently a senior at River Heights University in addition to working at Magnolia Gardens. His internship is part of a year-long program and the school has with the botanical garden. Parker said that he hopes to get hired on as a full employee once he graduates. Currently, most of his duties involve helping Dr. Latour with her ongoing research project. Parker is also Sherwood's nephew. Here's what he said about Sherwood. Uncle S always has my back. Growing up around him gave me the confidence I have today, plus the interest in plant biology. He's a total natural leader. A lot of people don't see that in him, just like they don't see how smart I really am. But they will someday for both of us. Parker missed most of Fatal Flora's opening night event because Dr. Latour asked him to stay in the lab to clean up a number of samples that he accidentally spilled shortly before the event began. He said this about the task. I don't get why I had to be the only one to clean up. The janitor would have gotten it in the morning. I honestly kind of think Dr. L just wanted to take her frustrations out on me since her project is not going the way she wants. It's honestly just a matter of time before Florence shuts it down. Interesting. Parker thinks Florence was going to shut down Latour's project. Motive? After cleaning up the spill, Parker got bored and a little lonely in the lab, so he snuck into the lecture for roughly 20 minutes, from around 7:15 to 7:40. He notes that Heather, Oliver, and Florence were all in attendance for Tara's talk. Okay. So that coincides. Okay, so around 7:15, Parker goes to lecture. And 7:40, Parker leaves lecture. Sees Heather, Oliver, and Florence. Okay, so that's confirming those three were there. At 7:40, Parker took some snacks from the table on the back room and went to the lab. He knew that Sherwood must not be done with his work yet, since he could still hear music playing from Sherwood's office, and he couldn't go home before Sherwood was ready, since Sherwood was his ride. Parker said that he occupied his time by getting a little extra internship-related work done, and that he noticed Sherwood sticking his head into the lab to check on him a little before 8. Parker says that he finished his work around 8:45, and Sherwood gave him a ride back to HRU a little before 9. Okay. So around 7:40, he thinks Sherwood is still working. Music blasting? Music blasting. Okay. But that doesn't mean he was necessarily working. He could have left his music on. All right. Tara. Tara's trying to breed strains of produce that need less water to grow. She said if her project succeeds, it could mean a more environmentally friendly way of farming. However, Tara. I've been saying Tara, I'm going to stick with it. Tara also mentioned her project hasn't been as successful as she hoped, saying this: the project's setbacks can be chalked up to a lack of funding or a lack of good assistance. Parker hasn't lived up to my expectations, and Florence won't invest enough money into my vision. Still, I'm going to make sure this study succeeds no matter what. Okay. Latour thinks Parker is not a great assistant and wants Florence to give her more funding. On the night of the lecture, Tara planned to show up to the exhibit early, but Parker made a mistake in the lab that set her back. Tara seemed frustrated with him, saying, "Of course Parker's incompetence could make me run late to my own lecture. He somehow managed to trip while carrying my most promising samples, making a huge mess for both of us. Both Sandersons are clumsy and they are negligent of lab safety protocols. It's fine that Sherwood constantly forgets about the existence of protective eyewear and gloves, but it's baffling that Parker never remembers something so basic." Tara told Parker to clean up the samples he dropped. Then she left the administrative building. She arrived at the Fatal Flora exhibit around 6:55. Yeah, I agree. I was wondering if that music blasting was going to be a thing where it's like, okay, that's an audio thing that easily makes you think, oh, they're still in there, but you don't actually know. Tara noticed Sherwood wasn't at the event. She sounded annoyed that the curator would miss the opening of his own exhibit. She also noticed Parker sneak into the event at one point, but he seemed more interested in the refreshment table than the lecture. Tara said Florence showed up to the event late, and that Oliver left the lecture a few minutes before she was done speaking. Tara mentioned... Okay. So, Parker left around 7:40 before 8. Oliver left lecture. Interesting. Oh, it's because Florence was late. Tara mentioned that with a little more than annoyance that Heather was her only colleague who stayed for the entirety of the lecture. Right? Heather's there for the entire lecture. Okay. Tara left soon after she finished speaking at 8 o'clock. When I asked her why, she said it was because she doesn't like to mingle and because she had some work to complete in her office. When she got to her office, Tara could hear Sherwood's music playing through their shared wall. She said that it turned off at some point before she left, but she couldn't say exactly when. While she was in her office, Tara saw Oliver through her window. He was moving around the greenhouse from 8 to 8:15. I saw the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and that's when it all fell into place. I think Oliver is the one with the bouquet. But I don't think it was 8:20. Because that doesn't make sense to me. Oh, no, because if he left early... No, you're right. If he left early, then he might not realize she's not back in her office yet. And she wasn't back in her office yet because she was still fielding questions. Okay, cool. All right, Florence. You're off the hook, girl. I mean, not yet, fully, but mostly. But he left at 7:40. But he might have gone in there at 7:40. Wait. No. He left a little early, but that doesn't necessarily mean... He might have just been in the green room earlier or longer than what she saw. Okay. The green room. Greenhouse. She left for the night at 9 o'clock. As I left Tara's office, I noticed a lab coat hanging in the corner covered in pink stains. It can't be her. The reason I'm saying that is because it seems so obviously her this early when just reading this that I'm like, nah. Just reading this and her case notes makes it seem like it's her, and therefore I don't think it's Tara. All right, Oliver. Oh, look how cute Heather is. Dashing Oliver. Oliver takes care of the plants in Magnolia Gardens. He mainly works out of the new greenhouse. Sherwood told me to ask him about Florence, so I did. It wasn't hard to get Oliver to open up. It seemed like he wanted someone to talk to. He got visibly upset when I mentioned Florence's name, saying, Florence and I were involved for some time romantically, and it was fine, more than fine, it was fantastic. But I mean, it was fine in the sense that there's nothing against it in the employee handbook. We both checked. Still, she asked me to keep things quiet. She wanted to be professional. I wanted to be more open, but I respected her wishes. Because of this, Florence and Oliver would never be affectionate at work. This is what they did instead. Instead of saying, I love you, whenever people were around, I'd say perennial. It's a term that means through thick and thin, basically. Even if a perennial might look dead in the winter, you can count on it to bloom again come springtime. That's really cute. Oliver said that when Florence was promoted, it put a strain on their relationship. A T strain on the relationship? No. She was even less comfortable dating a subordinate than she was a coworker. They tried to make it work for several months until last week when Florence broke off the relationship for good. On the night of the opening, Oliver showed up around 6:30. He told me he was hoping to help set up as an excuse to talk to Florence. But Florence didn't show up until after Tara started speaking. Okay. When Florence walked into the room, I saw her look down at the empty seat next to me and walk over to the opposite end of the room to sit instead. That really hurt. Oliver said he couldn't stand the thought of Florence ignoring him during the post-lecture mingling, so he slipped out a few minutes before 8. Then he went to the new greenhouse to complete some horticultural tasks before he left. At 8:15, Oliver cut through the administrative building to get to his car. He thought he heard someone moving around in Florence's office. Oliver called out to Florence through the door, hoping to talk to her. When nobody responded, he left. Okay. To go to his car. Thought he heard someone in Florence's office, but no one answered. And then around 8:20, he went home a little after, let's say, 8:21 to 23. Oliver went home. Yeah, it is weird that he didn't mention the flowers. The time does seem to line up. When no one answered, he left. When Oliver got to his car, he saw Heather leaving the abandoned greenhouse with Gertrude Robinson, a woman who visits the gardens every Tuesday. The two parted ways, got in their respective vehicles, and drove away. Oliver went home a little after 8:20. Okay. Heather and Gertrude Robinson visits every Tuesday. Leave abandoned greenhouse. Okay, so not the notebook. So when he went in the greenhouse, he went in the new one. I noticed quite a few stains on Oliver's clothing, which isn't out of the ordinary for his job. However, one of them has similar pink stains to Florence's office. Okay. Oliver's clothing has pink stains. Right? How did he... Well, at that point, he wasn't in... Supposedly, when he heard the knock, he was in the break room. So he wasn't in his loud music thing. That was after he was done working. But that does line up with our timetable so far. Time for Heather. Heather greeted me with a chipper hello. When I told her who I was, she started telling me about a potential case of theft from the gift shop. Oh, she's a gift shop manager. According to Heather, she was doing inventory the morning the Fatal Flora exhibit opened when she noticed that a small tin, 3 seed packets, and a postcard went missing the previous night. She also said she found 95 cents on the counter after the talk, and since the postcards cost exactly that much, she assumes that money was meant to pay for the postcard. It's odd there'd be a payment for the card, but not the seeds or the tin. Remember the postcard, which reads, "I know you made yourself clear, but please reconsider. If you connect the dots, you'll see where I stand." So I think this is from Oliver. And I think Oliver paid for it. But we'll see. Maybe that's why he left at... We'll see when we figure that puzzle out, but... Okay. Heather seems to take pride in her work. She noted that she knows Magnolia Gardens' regular visitors by name, favorite flower, and astrological sign. She said that she always pitches ideas on how to improve the botanical garden to the director, although she seemed to get a bit less cheerful when I asked about that, saying, I totally think we should start selling flowers. Oh, and we should get a costumed mascot who's dressed like a big magnolia. But Florence doesn't take me seriously like Felix, the old director did, which is like not cool of her. She thinks she's better than me because she's in charge of the whole place and I'm just the gift shop girl. But someday she'll realize that she shouldn't underestimate me. Okay, that seems kind of like a threat, but on the night of the opening, Heather showed up to the event space a little before 6:30. Set up chairs and the refreshment table. Okay. So someone else stole from the gift shop. Okay. Alrighty. Let's say a little before 6:30, 6:25. Heather arrives to help set up. She's confirmed. Oliver absolutely arrives when he said he did. Heather then listened to the entirety of Tara's lecture. This was her takeaway. Dr. Latour had like a weird pink stain on her blazer. It's like so embarrassing for her to give a whole speech in front of that many people looking like a total mess. I mean, yikes. Okay. Tara's blazer had Pink stains. I'm wondering if whatever spilled... Could it be watermelon? I think whatever Parker spilled probably had pink stain. Like, might have been pink. I'm wondering if that's how she got it on her. After the talk, Heather spoke with several regular visitors to the gardens, including a woman named Gertrude Robinson, before eventually leaving the building around 8:10. So she's leaving out the greenhouse. When Heather was in the parking lot a little later, she saw Oliver come out of the administrative building, get into his car, and rest his head on the steering wheel. Here's what she had to say about that. I bet he'd been looking for Florence, which is, like, so sad of him. No offense. It's like, take a hint, you know? She's just not that into you. She drove home at 8:20. Okay. Her time is a little off, but... Okay. That's our lovely people. Let's look at Fatal Flora, the beautiful but deadly world. Fatal Flora of poisonous plants. In this exhibit, you'll find a wide variety of plants from all over the world, each as dangerous as it is beautiful. Feel free to explore and take photos. Our Magnolia Gardens staff is here to answer any questions you may have. However, please refrain from touching any of the plants housed in this exhibit. Remember, it's not safe to touch or ingest any plant you're not familiar with. Below are a few facts about some of the curator's personal favorites from the Fatal Flora collection. Hey, look at this. That could be an azalea. A bleeding heart. Lily of the Valley. I think this might actually be iris. Cutting stolen. Okay. Azalea. Maybe that's not an azalea. Could be something else. Okay. And Nancy's written here, cuttings were stolen from this plant. Okay, yes, that is one of the... As a reminder, the cuttings that were stolen are the air plant, azalea, bleeding heart, chamomile, jelly bean plant, lily of the valley, oleander, Venus flytrap, and wolfsbane. The azalea is a flowering shrub found across the world. Behind this bush's beauty lurks a beastly bite lurks a beastly bite. When consumed, this is hard to read. The granotoxins in azaleas can cause frothy salivation, loss of appetite, irregular heartbeat, and seizures. When bees make honey using azalea pollen, even that honey can be toxic. Oh my goodness. Oh, I wonder if because it looks like just the bleeding heart and lily of the valley for sure are in there. Bleeding heart is a flower native to Siberia, Korea, northern China, and Japan that contains dangerous alkaloids. When consumed, this plant causes tremors, drooling, rash, difficulty breathing, and even seizures. While the bleeding heart's name might suggest a fragile nature, it is incredibly resistant to droughts and wildfires. Deadly nightshade, Atrapa belladonna. He's native to Europe, North Africa, and Western Asia. Consuming this plant causes dilated pupils, headaches, rashes, irregular heartbeat, nightmares, and potentially death. I think we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Let's read the rest, but so far, Deadly Nightshade, which is not in the bouquet and is not one of the ones that seems to have been stolen. Right? Might cause someone to scratch themselves. Aw, sorry. To be fair, I think actually, Wolfsbane, like Aconite, I believe also is supposed to, give you a rash. If you handle it too much. But this says when consuming. Many harmless plants like tomatoes and potatoes are related to nightshade and contain small amounts of the same dangerous chemicals nightshade contains, like solanine. Interesting. That seems important. Maybe poisoned tomatoes? That's where the pink stains are from? I don't know. Lily of the Valley is native to northern Asia and Europe and is full of cardiac glycosides. Consuming the plant will cause abdominal pain, nausea, irregular heartbeat, and potential death. The flower is said to have symbolized a return to happiness and has appeared in many bridal bouquets. No. He's got the bleeding heart and the lily of the valley in there. Poor guy. Oleander is a flowering shrub found in ornamental gardens worldwide. Oleander contains cardiac glycosides that cause rashes, confusion, tiredness, nausea, stomach pain, blurred vision, and irregular heartbeat when consumed. Oleander is toxic in more than one way. Even breathing in the smoke of burning oleander can be dangerous. Wolfsbane, Aconitum napellus, is an herb native to Europe. In some European folklore, wolfsbane is said to repel werewolves. Alleged anti-werewolf properties aside, the plant causes numbness, irregular heartbeat, nausea, vomiting, and potentially death. Historically, the plant was also used to coat arrows to add to their deadliness. In this exhibit, you'll find a wide... Okay. Below are a few facts about some of the curator's personal favorites from the Fatal Flora collection. The curator picked these out. Special thanks to the following highly generous individual donors whose contributions made this exhibit possible. We at Magnolia Gardens thank you. Carson Drew, Samantha Kincaid, Lara H. Lethes, in honor of Felix Gallup Torres, Gertrude Robinson, Lawrence Rolfe, Ezra Streetman, Anna Taylor Wong, Maxwell Tremblay III. We'd also like to thank the following local organizations for their kind sponsorship of our opening event: River Heights University. President, Camilla Semelli. Membership, Larissa Amolvaldar, Rahul Chaudhry, Ostrid Feverworth, Basil Howard, Dr. Tara Latour, Dr. Sherwood Sanderson, and Parker Sanderson. So it looks like... Oh! River Heights University, but also that was for the River Heights Garden Society, which I don't know if you can tell. That looks mighty familiar to me. So this is a membership ring. And Dr. Latour, Sanderson, and Parker are all a part of it. I don't think it's a secret society ring, considering the garden society is literally like, I don't know, I'm putting that upside down. I mean, it's right there. All right. You are all part of this. I don't feel like it's Parker, because Parker seems too stupid. All right. Facts. To Dr. Tara Latour. Magnolia Gardens from Alex Holland, Tom Swift Company. I don't think we know Tom Swift. Swift by name and Swift by nature. Dr. Latour, thank you again for your video conferencing me this evening to go over collaboration and funding opportunities with Tom Swift Company. I understand that you were quite occupied with giving the lecture this evening. I very much appreciate you choosing to miss the reception in order to speak with me for the past 45 minutes. Okay. So. Tara leaves. Tara talks with Tom Swift over video conference. So she left the reception, not she didn't want to mingle, but because she had to make this meeting. Your research on the water efficiency of genetically modified tomatoes. Tomatoes. Hi, Dale. Oh my gosh, I didn't. That was you. Oh my gosh. Hi. Genetically modified tomatoes is both creative and pioneering. However, after we discussed, your progress has not yet been sufficient enough to warrant an external grant. The current strain of tomato you've produced is frankly unfit for sale with only a marginal difference in water retention. While we appreciate the passion you clearly have for the project and understand your need for financial assistance, we will not be able to provide funding at this time. I wish you the best of luck in your continued research and suggest you resubmit an application once you've obtained more desirable results. Best regards, Alex Holland. External grant manager, Tom Swift Company. Tomatoes are a part of the nightshade family. They actually, we just read, they even contain trace amounts of the same chemical that in larger doses is extremely poisonous. Well, that's why they were thought to be deadly. There's something on the back of this. Divide the data out into the number of roses on the ring. And then I have no idea what that is. That is definitely some kind of... Oh my gosh, is it actually... Okay, there's 3. Okay. Okay. Whoa, how did I even... Hang on. I think I'm doing this wrong. I lost my place. Okay. Try this a different way. Hang on. I'm trying not to mark this because I want someone else to be able to use it at some point. Okay. Oh, after that. Huzzah. Okay. I don't know. Sherwood just seems super guilty, but maybe that's a red herring too. Okay. So that was on that. Or potentially it was Parker this whole time. Okay. This is definitely Heather's notebook. Look at this. Sunday, Lawrence Rolfe. 1:51 p.m. 4:49:75. This is crossed out air plants. She's been selling them. Oh my gosh. I bet. Yep. This page is from the notebook I found in the supposedly abandoned greenhouse. Seems to cover this past week. SK. I remember seeing Lawrence Rolfe. Lawrence Rolfe, special thanks. He bought air plants. Those are some of the cuttings. D1 times 5. D1. Cut it out. Okay, I bet that's air plants. But I don't know why D1 is air plant. Monday, SK. Samantha Kincaid. $58, 7:03 p.m. M1 times 6. I don't know what M1 is. I don't know what her system is. Not yet, anyway. But that's Samantha Kincaid. LR might be Lawrence Rolfe again. Tuesday, ES. Ezra Streetman. BH. Basil Howard, maybe? Gertrude Robinson, GR. Wednesday, AF. Astrid Feverworth. I know it's a successful business model. Florence will totally have to say yes when she sees how much money Laura has made for the gardens. So she's selling stuff in the abandoned greenhouse. Yeah. Oh! Robert, that is great. We haven't even opened. Ha! We haven't even opened our map yet. I was wondering about that. I was like, maybe it relates to, like, a plot? Okay. I just saw that. D1. D for desert. And it is the first air plant. Okay. Okay. Brilliant. All right, let's see what she sold. Okay. Yes, we're doing it. Lawrence Rolfe at 1:51 p.m. for $49.75. Oops. Five air plants. So we know why those are missing. I bet the next one's gonna be azaleas. Okay. So that was on Sunday. Monday. Okay, Monday. Probably aren't relevant, honestly, unless Tuesday, but I feel like I'll feel better as long as I mark it all down. SK. Who was SK? SK is probably Samantha Kincaid. At 3:27 p.m. $58.80 M1 medicinal. Oh, this is also important. Sarah and Parker work here in the lab. Lawrence, Spearwood's office, Tara's office, kitchen. Okay. Oliver spends most of his time here. Ah, closed indefinitely. Found notebook here. Okay. All right, M1. Chamomile. Hey, we are missing some chamomile. Okay. We sold 6 chamomile. Oh, she's gonna be in so much trouble. Okay. Lawrence Rolfe again. $18 at 10 p.m. Oh, stomach. E6 desert. Jelly bean plant. There it is. $18. 91 cents. 2 jelly bean plants. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm so sorry. My stomach is being a jerk. Talk amongst yourselves. Not me being distracted by sleepy kittens. Nope. Alrighty. Oh. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Is there any way I can help anyone find the... So the thread is right now, it looks like Heather, lovely Heather, who was like, we should sell flowers, and we should sell our flowers at the garden. And Florence was like, no. Apparently Heather has been running a side job anyway, and I think that's where all the missing clippings are from. But I'm checking all of them just to be sure that say, although none of the missing clippings are deadly nightshades, so part of me is like, it might not, this might actually just be clearing stuff away, but like this might not actually have anything to do with have any link, but I want to clear my bases. Especially because all the people who are purchasing don't actually seem to be from. None of them are suspects, from what I can tell. But let's just keep going anyway. All right, Tuesday, day of the murder. ES. Yes. Ezra Streetman. Not the day of the murder. The day of the exhibit. No one actually died. Ezra Streetman came in at 9:46 a.m. She paid a whopping $93.50 for... Oh! Ooh! Ezra! You bought some Fatal Flora. What did you buy? You bought 4 oleanders. And on that same day, BH who I think is Basil Howard of the Garden Society, at 12 p.m. spent $173.59 C8. Let's C8. Oh, he bought 9 Venus flytraps. All right. And our lovely Gertrude Robinson. Aha. That's what she was doing. I think that's the only one we really need to concern ourselves too much with. At 8:18. p.m. Day of the exhibit. Gertrude bought 6 wolfsbanes. And just for my own edification on Wednesday, Astrid Featherworth at 1:05 p.m. bought the 2 missing azaleas. For $52.80. $60, I just missed it. But Gertrude is not one of our suspects, unfortunately. But she also bought wolfsbane instead of... All right, so that means at... $18:18 p.m. Heather was selling Gertrude wolfsbane, which I feel like, and I will pause if you don't agree. I feel this puts Heather out of, this is oddly, Heather's crime is oddly her alibi. Because if at 8:18 she was in the abandoned greenhouse, which you'll recall is by the parking lot, if she was here at 8:18, she could not have been in Florence's office at 8:15 when our dear Oliver heard somebody inside. Do we agree? Robert agrees with me. Jody agrees. So with that, we are going to put our lovely Heather over here. She's currently no longer a suspect. I'll put the map over here too, actually, just for now. Oh, I feel good. This is so fun. All right. Weekly break room checklist. Wipe down microwave is crossed off. Clean fridge is crossed off. Take out trash is crossed off. Hey, didn't we agree the break room was an allergen-free zone? I got an unpleasant flare-up from the tomato spill left in the microwave. Assuming it was you for obvious reasons, Tara. S. Ah. So Sherwood is allergic to tomatoes. Apologies, I was busy with the FF lecture yesterday. Fatal Flora must have slipped my mind. Maybe you'd understand what it's like to have to multitask if you'd been promoted. For the record, though, it was regular tomato soup, nothing from the lab. I might not be nearly as busy as you are trying to salvage the project of yours, but I find ways to occupy my time. Next time, bring clam chowder. Hi all, the microwave is clean now. How about we let bygones be bygones? Great talk yesterday, Tara, by the way. Perfect opening for a fantastically curated exhibit. Oliver. Oliver, you sweetie pie. Okay. So, that's why he was angry about the microwave. Oliver cleaned it up. River Heights University's Scientific Internship Program. This form is to be filled out midway through the year-long program by a supervisor, reviewed with the program's participant, and submitted to the dean's office at RHU in order for the participant to receive academic credit for their participation in the program. Okay. Oh no. This is filled out by Florence. Identify any areas of excellence or significant achievements the student has made. Just looking at this visually, you will notice the excellence one is the least filled out one. Parker is an intelligent young man with a genuine passion for plant biology. He has proven time and time again to be quick-witted, and he shows genuine aptitude for biochemistry. He is quick to think of creative solutions to any problems that might arise. Identify areas where improvement in performance is needed. Dr. Latour, who works most closely with Parker, has reported to me that Parker often incorrectly fills out lab reports, consistently makes easily preventable errors in those same reports, and repeatedly fails to observe basic lab safety protocols despite numerous warnings. I know, super bitchy response. All of these issues stem from Parker's failure to double-check his work before submitting it, and if they have led to Parker making numerous preventable lab errors. While Parker is certainly not the only reason that Dr. Latour's research has fallen behind schedule, I consider his negligence to be one of the primary factors. He unfortunately seems to be more of a hindrance than a help to her so far. Include any additional comments here. Oh, Parker saw this because he signed it. When my colleague Dr. Sanderson recommended Parker for this position, he repeatedly emphasized to me how intelligent Parker is and how much potential he has to become a skilled researcher. I agree with Dr. Sanderson on both of these fronts. However, Parker has shown an inability to take direction. Multiple times, Dr. Latour and I have discussed with Parker the issues mentioned in the previous section, and he has made no significant effort to alter his behavior. Instead of taking this program as an opportunity to live up to the promise he has shown, Parker has instead been wasting his considerable potential. Despite Dr. Latour being engrossed with the preparation of an upcoming lecture, she has felt the need to delegate less responsibility to Parker for fear that he will do more harm in her absence. RHU designed the scientific internship in collaboration with participating institutions with a goal of placing graduating seniors in full-time positions at these institutions. At this point in the program, how likely are you to take the participant on as a full-time employee at their time of graduation? Although Parker is only halfway through the program, at this point I'm afraid I have no hope that he will reflect on his actions and prove himself to be a worthwhile member of the team. While I'm sure Dr. Sanderson would love to see Parker get a junior research position upon graduation, I personally do not intend to hire Parker once his internship concludes. Ooh. Let's go up to motives. Although it's kind of a flimsy motive, considering Dr. Latour would have also... Yeah, it'd be against both of them, is what I was about to say as well. Is it like... Getting rid of Florence doesn't actually help him. Though I am amused by the idea that if he did try to poison her, it failed because he's just so bad. Alrighty. And if I didn't put it down. Sherwood was passed over for promotion. All right, let's see if we can't figure out this guy. You connect the dots, you'll see where I stand. I'm really gonna need a pencil, I think. I think I gotta actually connect the dots. Why are they pointing, though? Makes sense to anybody? Oh, good point. Might have seen that form she signed. Because it's also like, if she was gone, he'd have that promotion, and it would be his call, not Dr. Latour's anyway. Ah, gosh darn it. I'm gonna leave this up. You guys can get a really good look at this thing. Maybe ponder over what it is. I will be right back as soon as I can. Ooh, my tummy is hurting. I am still muted. No idea what exactly this is, but I realized if I take a picture of it, upload it to my Dropbox, we can then play around with it digitally and not actually do the thing. So, while I'm waiting for my Dropbox to... Oh, no, already uploaded. Okay, that was real fast. Oh, she did say 5 people. And if we eliminated Heather, then I don't think Florence can be one, but... Why would they steal these? Okay. I feel like this is gonna tell us a lot. And good night, Phoenix. I think it is a love note from Oliver. I just need to figure out what it says. Okay. I don't know. Where I stand. Night imp! Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, okay, hang on. Maybe. These seem to correspond. There's a yellow flower. Okay. Maybe? Yeah, there's a blue, a purple. I think it... Okay, okay. Okay. Lily of the Valley. But both of these are from Flatal Flora, and I have no idea how to figure out what these are. This looks like a school ring to me. This is a lot of cut up shit. Oh, hang on. She just drinks. That's to that. She just drinks 1 cup per day. Oh, uh-oh. Okay. Okay, you're the same. That's the same. That's part of that. Oh, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but a lot of these have red stains. Okay. Okay. Purple. Oh, hello. Tea canisters, 30 servings of tea. She just drinks 1 cup per day. I need. This is literally somebody's. Oh boy. I'll figure this out. I think these are 2 pieces of paper at least. Out on my own. Oh, this is so cool. Ah, better to okay. This absolutely has tea canister and okay. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. All right, this has got to be Tara. No, wait. No, I think this is Parker. Oh yeah, well wait. I don't think it can be Tara. Because Tara, we know where Tara was. She was until 8:45. It couldn't have been Tara. Until 8:45 Tara was in the office. Agreed? She was 45 minutes. For 45 minutes, if we've established that the person was in the office around 8:15, we know for a fact she was still on her video conference, so it couldn't have been Tara. So this, ooh, I wonder if this is Parker's handwriting. It does look like a young kid's, or a younger kid's. Okay. Oh, this is cool. It's talking about Sherwood. Looks like two different sets of handwriting. Not just, yeah, it's definitely two different things of handwriting. All right. No. Dangerous, pretty much. Potential fatality. Okay, okay. I'll figure this out on my own. Can't show anyone what I'm doing. Swipe some research notes that should help me out. Latest readings on tomato samples. 300 milligrams of solanine per leaf. 4 milligrams per gram in the fruit. Fruit is way less dangerous. Better use the leaf. Whoa. What is the right amount? Just need her out of commission for a few months. Okay, so he wasn't trying to kill her. All right. Ah, this is her notes. And then he doodled on her notes. Okay. What a fucking tool. Dumbass kid. Pretty darn sure it's him now. I don't know if I was supposed to get that so early. I think possibly. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so I'm missing a part of this, but it says latest readings on tomato samples, 300 milligrams of solanine per leaf, 4 milligrams per gram in the fruit. Fruit is way less dangerous, but I use the leaf. What's the right amount? We just need her out of commission for a few months. Sherwood once told me he's so much more sensitive to solanine than a regular person that he can't touch any of the samples in the lab without gloves. Skin to skin contact with regular tomatoes gives him a rash, but touching one of the samples in the lab would send him to the hospital for weeks. I bet he knows all about solanine. Wonder if I could ask him and say it's for research. No, still a bad idea to get him in on this. Need to figure it out myself. Just wasted a bunch of time trying to look through old lab reports for the answer, when I could have just looked it up online instead. Here's what the internet told me. 300 milligrams is enough to make pretty much anyone feel terrible. Anything above 3 milligrams per kilo of body weight is dangerous, potentially fatal there. Florence's weight around 70 kilograms? Better to underestimate. I'll say 60. 2 milligrams per kilogram is at 60 grams, 120 per day. Tea canisters, 30 servings. One of tea. She just drinks 1 cup per day. I'm missing one. Aha. I hope. Just 1 cup per day, I hope. Solanine equals 12. Need to grind up 12 leaves, mix them in the loose leaf. Remember the right edge of remember the right edge of O over the center of X, if that rings a bell. He's got tic-tac-toe on this thing. Okay. Objective: cultivate water-efficient strain of tomatoes by reducing the required consumption by 15% without significantly altering taste or quality. Results of trial 3. Slight decrease in water needs from last generation. Solanine tomato. Solanine tomatine levels are high at 300 milligrams a leaf and 4 milligrams in the fruit, significantly above the threshold for safe consumption. Eating the fruit or leaves of even one tomato is enough to cause severe illness symptoms comparable to nightshade poisoning. In addition to regular tomato tar, regular tomato tar, the heat and oils of bare skin seem to cause a chemical reaction with the the sugars of the leaves. This causes the fruit and leaves, when handled without gloves, to emit a sticky pink substance that requires an acid wash to remove from skin but does not come out of clothes. Some samples have been lost due to poor temperature regulation and other avoidable mishaps. Florence isn't happy with the progress. I mean, neither am I, but she'll cut funding for this. What then? An external grant? Check if the TS application is still open. Tom Swift. Would Florence put in a good word? No way. Why couldn't Sherwood have gotten the directed position? Dealing with his blatant nepotism would be worthwhile trade to get Florence off my back. At least he'd give me time to course correct. Okay. So he used her information. Absolutely it does. Okay. The right edge of O over the center of X. Why is there an X there? There's a bunch of X's, actually. A double helix. Like DNA? There are a bunch of weird X's just randomly placed right here, like on the owl. Show. Ah! I'll show her. No. No hope. Right edge. Oh. Hmm. I mean, this is clearly frickin' him, so... I know I'm missing things, though. No, Sophie! No, no, no! I love you, but no! Don't climb on mommy's puzzles. But I love you. I'll show her no hope. Ugh. Sitting up. Sophie, stop it. I love you, but please. Chew on anything else. Hey. Hang on. Tiny monster, I love you so much. All right. My goodness. All right. Okay. How? We know that. The means is she was poisoned. With, the tomato plant. Why? I'm assuming because she wasn't gonna hire him. Yeah, he's got means, motive, and opportunity. I feel like we have enough to get him. At the same time, there's clearly more here. I don't feel right looking at solutions when I feel like there's more here. Like, what does that mean? The right edge of O over the center of X. Right center of O. The right side of O over the center of X. Don't you start too, sir. I know, but like, what? I think I have it too. I just have that feeling like I'm skipping something if I don't. Like, what does the X thing even mean, you know? Covered in the pink stuff. All right. It is a lot more difficult to do it backwards, and I'm realizing there's no There's nothing on the back. I kind of knew that, but I was hoping maybe. It absolutely could not have been Sherwood, which is surprising. This is gonna drive me crazy, though. What is this? What is this puzzle? The drawing I made of the O and X kind of looked like a tomato. Oh, it kind of does. No hope. Oh. I'm afraid I have no hope. At this point, okay, that's to further confirm the motive, I guess. I'll show her no hope. All right. I don't know what sweet, lovely letter Oliver wrote to Florence, and I kind of really want to know, but I guess I can figure that out at another time. All right. Calcifer, are you here for the thrilling conclusion? Okay. I know, my boy. So, to go over one more time. Parker Sanderson had the means because he had access, plentiful access, to the very poisonous tomatoes engineered by Tara Latour. His motive was because he resented and was wanting to put her out of commission for a bit so that Sherwood would have to step in. That he wanted her out of commission for a few months. Sherwood would have hired him, and taken him out. Opportunity. We're pretty sure Florence had the poisoning happen around 8:15. We know Parker left the lecture around this time. Or says he left the lecture around this time. He had ample time just to double check. When did Sherwood say he checked on Parker? hostile terrain for me for more than one reason. That's why. So that was a little after 8. Parker was back in there, probably getting the sample stuff grind up. Yeah, he's got a lot of unaccounted for time, so. All right. Do not open until you're sure you know who the culprit is. Ooh! To access spoiler-free hints and to receive an exclusive epilogue after you've solved the case, go to mysterymagnolia.com. Thanks to your analysis, we can make the following conclusions. Parker Sanderson is the culprit. He knew Florence wasn't going to hire him after his internship ended and that his uncle Sherwood had been the other choice for the promotion to director. In Parker's mind, if Florence was out of the way, Sherwood would take her place, and Sherwood likes Parker enough to hire him despite his poor performance. Parker poisoned Florence to secure a job at Magnolia Gardens under Dr. Sanderson. Parker had access to Dr. Latour's genetically modified tomatoes in the lab. Those samples are full of the chemical solanine, which is also found in nightshade. That's why the poison's effects were similar to the symptoms of nightshade poisoning. We can tell Parker used the samples because of the pink stains in Florence's office. Dr. Latour's notes say the samples leave pink stains when handled without gloves. Yep, we know this. Tara had the same stains on her lab coat, which proves the connection between the stains in Florence's office and the tomatoes in the lab. Stains also prove Sherwood wasn't the culprit. Sherwood can't handle Tara's samples without gloves due to his severe allergy. We know the stain was created by a bare-handed culprit. Yep, because it left the thing. So Sherwood is off the hook. Oliver Watley seemed suspicious at first since Florence broke his heart. However, the coded message in the bouquet left on her doorstep was perennial. How? How? How does this become perennial? A word that had strong romantic significance to the two of them. Oliver was still in love with Florence, which suggests he didn't have a motive to poison her. Additionally, the ring inside the tin of the culprit's belongings was from the River Heights Garden Society. Oliver doesn't belong to that club and therefore doesn't own that ring. Heather Shaw left a sales ledger in the old greenhouse. Deciphering it showed that Heather was stealing plant cuttings and selling them, but her motivations weren't selfish. The name of the donor, Laura H. Lessif, is an anagram of Heather Shaw. Oh, that I didn't catch. But we figured it out anyway. It convinced Florence to sell plants at the gift shop. That means she didn't have any motive to poison Florence. This page, well, that we knew. The page also gives Heather an alibi during the time. Heather was busy opening and then making a sale in the greenhouse. She had no opportunity to poison the tea. Dr. Latour had a strong motive, thinking Florence would uproot her research project. However, she had no opportunity to poison the tea either. On the night of the opening, Tara gave her lecture and went straight to the call with Tom Swift Company in desperate bid to secure funding that could save her research. She stayed on the call until after the door was locked again. When I first visited Magnolia Gardens, I never would have guessed there were so many secrets buried just beneath the surface. I'm glad you could help me dig them up. As you can see from the article I've sent, I've passed our findings on to Florence, who, like me, has thankfully made a full recovery, and to the authorities. I hope we get to work together again someday, but let's hope next time I won't have get poisoned first. Precocious private eyes put prospective poisoner in his place. River Heights University senior Parker Sanderson has been arrested by local authorities after his confession to the poisoning of Florence North, the head of Magnolia Gardens, and Nancy Drew, beloved detective. And Carrie Callaghan and the Curios, hello. Sanderson, a now former intern at Magnolia Gardens, admitted to placing toxic samples of a genetically modified strain of tomato onto North's canister of loose leaf tea, which she kept in her office and habitually drank from each morning. Asked to comment on his nephew's actions, Magnolia Gardens curator Sherwood Sanderson, Ph.D., expressed surprise and horror and claimed complete ignorance of the plot. Evidence of Parker Sanderson's crime first came to the attention of River Heights Police Department when it received a tip from none other than Nancy Drew herself. Drew, who has since recovered from ill effects of the poison, fell victim to the younger Sanderson's toxic tincture when she accepted a cup of tea from North during a casual visit to Magnolia Gardens. Drew, who was hospitalized for a short period, called on the help of an anonymous colleague in order to get to the bottom of the case. The two worked together to successfully unearth the identity of the culprit, whereupon Drew turned over Parker Sanderson's name to the local authorities. Upon hearing Drew's explanation, RHPD officers took Parker Sanderson in for questioning and obtained his tearful confession within the hour. The guy started trembling like a leaf in a tornado as soon as we started talking to him. Didn't take long before he was telling us everything, said the arresting officer when asked to comment. I don't think he realized how serious his actions were until the consequences came knocking at his door. Tara Latour, Ph.D., Parker Sanderson's direct supervisor and creator of the tomato strain used in the crime, noted that she was ashamed that Parker Sanderson formed such a sinister scheme using her research, and stated that she, quote, can't believe Parker used my samples for evil. Latour went on to clarify that the tomato strain is still in its research and development stage and will only be made available to the public once it's completely safe to consume. One Magnolia Gardens employee, Heather Shaw, reflected on the revelation with surprise. Parker never seemed to be the type of total creep that would literally poison someone just because he was mad about getting a bad grade or whatever, Shaw said. I guess it just goes to show you that everybody's got weird secrets and stuff. North herself has, like Drew, made a full medical recovery at this time. I'm still very shaken up by what's happened, and I'll be taking some time off work and staying with a close friend to decompress, North said in a statement to the press. After that, though, I'll be returning to my position as director of Magnolia Gardens. At the end of the day, it's where I belong, and where I'll always be grateful to Nancy Drew and her fellow detective for making it safe for me again. Thank you for freaking mentioning me, finally. Coming soon to Magnolia Gardens. Blooming friendship and blossoming love. An exploration of feelings through flowers. All right. Before we call it a full day, let's head over to Magnolia. Oh, Mystery at Magnolia. Okay. Well, first of all, what? How do I do that? Hey! Okay. There are more of these, yeah. Hunt a Killer is a great company. They do ones that aren't necessarily. I think they've got a Murder at the Ren Fair one that I really want to do that I just saw a thing for. Um, gonna actually hide this again. How do I get my hints and recaps? Where's the manual? Ah, there we go. What? Okay. I did that wrong, apparently. Oh. What? There we go. Ah. Okay. Can be cross-referenced with another document. I knew it. Okay. All right. Might be fatal flora though. They, the thing. This one. The bouquet. They all show up in the bouquet. I said that before, but I didn't understand how. Like, how am I supposed to know what all of these are? This is gonna bug me. But somehow, I'm guessing, you connect these to make perennial. Oh. Oh. I'm about to just figure this out. I'm going to be annoyed at myself. And that. Yep. Yep. E. Yep. Yep. That's how. That's how. Well, I feel silly. Also, I think there were. Also, these colors are so close together. Ah. I'm not writing it out, but I at least know now. That was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I know this definitely took more than 90 minutes. I'm sure part of that is me speaking out loud, but I also just like to take my time with them. And when you're like, I don't know, do I really have it? And you do. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a lot of fun. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. If you liked this, we'll do this again sometime with a different one. Maybe it'll be a thing we'll do every couple of months or something. Anyway, bye, y'all. Thank you.